You spend 16 hours a day being a very limited version of yourself. You don't notice it. That's the point. Right now, your brain is running a survival program. It's filtering out almost everything. 99% of the electromagnetic spectrum. Most sounds. Every thought that doesn't help you get through the next 10 minutes. You call this reality. But it's closer to a settings menu. Optimized for one thing. Staying alive long enough to reproduce. Tonight, something very different is going to happen to you. And you're not going to remember most of it. Let's talk about the 8 hours you forget on purpose. Section 1. During the day, you are edited. Every sense you have was shaped by evolution to solve a narrow problem. Find food, avoid danger, track status, recognize faces. Your eyes don't show you light. They show you a guess about light, built for usefulness, not for truth. Your sense of time is a construction, stitched together after the fact by a brain that lies about the order events happened in. Your sense of you, the one making decisions right now, arrives in awareness after the decision has already been made. The feeling of choosing comes late. It's a capture, not a cause. None of this is mystical. It's neuroscience. It's been replicated for decades. And it's not just your senses that are edited. You are. At work, you are one version of yourself. Around your parents, another. Alone at 2 a.m., something closer to the truth leaks out. Even then, you're still performing for an audience of one. Social rules shape what you're allowed to feel. Biology shapes what you're allowed to want. Language shapes what you're even able to think. By the time an emotion reaches your face, it has already been negotiated with a dozen invisible committees. We call this waking life. We call it real. But look at what it actually is. A heavily compressed, heavily filtered, survival-optimized interface, running on top of something much stranger underneath. Section 2. Now go to sleep. Somewhere around 90 minutes in, something changes in your brain that almost never gets talked about outside of a sleep lab. The prefrontal cortex, the part of you that plans, that self-monitors, that says, no, that's not appropriate.
I can't remember who I was before,
goes quiet. Not
but it doesn't matter anymore.
But dimmed. Deprioritized.
I can't remember who I was
Meanwhile,
before,
the emotional centers of your brain, the amygdala,
but it doesn't matter
the
anymore.
limbic system, light up more than they do at almost any point during the day. This is measured. This is documented. This is what a brain scan shows during REM sleep. The part of you built for judgment steps back. The part of you built for feeling steps forward. And what happens next is the part nobody prepares you for. You fly. Not symbolically. You feel the lift, the wind, the drop in your stomach. You talk to people who are dead, and for the length of the conversation, you don't question it. Grief doesn't ask for permission.
I can't find the way out of here.
You are yourself, and also someone else, and also no one, sometimes in the same scene, without
I can't find the way out of here.
Contradictory while it's happening. Rooms don't hold their shape. Faces shift mid-sentence. Time runs backward, and you don't blink. None of this feels like a glitch from inside it. It feels total. It feels like the only reality there is. Dream researchers have a name for this. Bizarreness. It's a technical term. It shows up in almost every dream, every night, in every human being who has ever slept. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. While it's happening, while you're flying, while you're talking to someone who's gone, while your body doesn't obey physics, do you know you're dreaming? Almost never. It feels feels exactly as real as this does right now. More honest, maybe, because nothing is being edited for an audience. Nothing is being managed for consequences. There's no boss in the room, no mirror, no name tag.
Just you, running at full resolution with the filters removed. There's a reason you don't remember most of it by morning, and it isn't random. While you dream, a chemical called noradrenaline, tied to alertness, to laying down stable memories, drops to some of its lowest levels of the entire day. The parts of your brain that write experience into long-term storage are literally understaffed during the exact hours you're living the most vivid version of yourself. So the most unfiltered version of you is also the one you're least equipped to keep. That's not poetic license. That's how memory encoding behaves during REM sleep. It's been studied in labs for over 60 years. You live an entire life every night, full of flight, full of grief, full of people who don't exist and people who no longer do. By the time you're brushing your teeth, most of it is already gone. Not suppressed, not hidden somewhere you could find it with effort. Erased, structurally, by the same brain that generated it. Which raises something worth sitting with. If a version of you lives, feels, chooses, and disappears every single night, unwitnessed, unrecorded, gone by breakfast, in what sense did it not happen? You wouldn't say a person stops being real the moment nobody's left to remember them. There is one narrow exception researchers have documented. It's called lucid dreaming, a state conformed in sleep labs using prearranged eye movement signals from the dreamer, where you become aware you're dreaming while you're still inside it. For a few minutes, the editor and the unfiltered self are both online at the same time. People who've had this happen describe it the same way, over and over. Not, I realized it was fake. Closer to, I realized I was somewhere else, and that somewhere else had never needed my permission to be real. So here's the question that the video was really asking. If waking life is the edited version, and dreaming is what's underlying it, unedited, which one deserves to be called real? Section 3. There's a story that's around...
I can't remember my name.
And it still hasn't been answered.
A philosopher named Zhuangzi falls asleep and dreams he's a butterfly.
I can't remember my name.
Not dreaming about a butterfly, being one. Flying where he wants, feeling nothing of being a man. Just wings and air and no memory of a name. Then he wakes up, and he's confused in a very specific way. Not confused about what happened, confused about which direction the dream is running. Was he a man, dreaming he was a butterfly? Or is he, right now, a butterfly, dreaming that he's a man, sitting here, confused, asking this question?
It's all the same.
There's no experiment that settles it. That's not a flaw in the story.
There is no
That's
end.
the entire point of the story.
It's all the same.
Because from inside any state of consciousness, waking or dreaming,
there is no
the
end.
state feels complete. It feels like the ground floor. It never announces itself as temporary. You've never once, mid-dream, thought, this must be a dream. It's too well rendered. You accepted it, fully, every single time, until you woke up and the frame changed. So what makes you so sure the frame you're in right now is the last one? Here's what should actually unsettle you. You are certain that right now
It's not
that
stopping.
You are awake.
Where am I?
You would have been equally certain last night, mid-dream, that you were awake then too.
It's not stopping.
The certainty
Where am I?
isn't evidence. It's just what every state of consciousness generates about itself, automatically,
It's not stopping.
as a side effect of being
Where am
inside it. Waking life doesn't get a stamp of authenticity just because it's the one you're in more
It's
often,
not stopping.
or the one where your body
Where
has
am I?
consequences, or the one where you pay rent. It gets called real by default.
It's not
Not
stopping.
because it's been proven more,
Where am I?
because it's the one that talks the loudest, and lasts the longest. But loudest
not stopping.
isn't the same as truest.
Where am I?
And longest isn't the same as deep. Maybe reality was never.
It's not stopping.
Maybe
Where
it's
am
just
I?
whichever state you happen to be occupied when you ask the question. Tonight,
It's not stopping.
somewhere around 90 minutes
Where
after
am
you
I?
close your eyes, the editor in your head is going to step back, and something in you,
It's not
unfiltered,
stopping.
unmanaged,
Where am I?
unnamed, is going to take the wheel for a while. You won't remember most of it.
It's not stopping. Where am I?
As completely, as totally, as anything that's ever happened to you in daylight.
It's not stopping.
Something
Where am
was
I?
there. It just wasn't what you were. So don't forget to subscribe and like
It's
this
not stopping.
video. Who would help
Where am
you?
I?